Hi YouTube, this is the second web episode of Winglight Versus, and we're doing Winglight versus all known ceiling bounce diffusers, or in other words, wall or ceiling bounce diffusers. We're going to be testing against some of the most popular flash ceiling bounce diffusers. We got the box, we got the sphere, we got the foldable ones. And we also have the cup-like one, and we're going to be shooting with the Winglight with one wing to illuminate the subject as a fill light from underneath, and the other one is sending light into the ceiling. So I'm going to do this demonstration right now, but before I do that, I want to explain a little bit about ceiling bounce diffusers and how they work and the whole idea behind it. Bouncing light off of a ceiling has been a very famous technique that's been used in photography for not hundreds, but 100 years. And the whole concept of a ceiling bounce diffuser, back in the day they would use a little white card to send light to fill up the shadows that's created from light that bounces on the ceiling that comes directly on below on someone. And when light comes at 180 degrees down on someone from a ceiling, so my flash shoots light up in the ceilings, comes down at 180 degrees, it's going to create shadows on top of a person's face, their eyes, their nose, their mouth, their chin, and that a lot of times can look very bad, especially with those type of highlights. And so that's where ceiling bounce diffusers come in. Ceiling bounce diffusers are meant to send light, most of the light, into the ceiling and bounce back down on the subject at 180 degrees. Then there's going to be some light sent from the diffuser itself as a fill light to fill up those shadows on the subject. Well, that concept is really good, and I do agree with that concept, but there's a fundamental problem with that. And that fundamental problem is the whole principle behind a ring light is to illuminate the subject 300 degrees around the lens on a subject, and that's how shadows work. And so the same concept arises. Why would you put the fill light on top of the lens instead of how the wing light works, where the fill light is below the lens? It makes sense because light's going to be coming in from the bottom and up from the wing, bottom wing. The rest of the light's going to be hitting into the ceiling and coming down, and that's how it's going to fill up those shadows on a subject's face. So we're going to go and test that right now and put it to the test. I'm going to take a shot of my subject here with the flash off. My settings are 1/60th of a second, f2.8, ISO 100, ETTL manual, auto white balance, and I'm going to take a shot with my flash off just to show that the ambient light is not going to influence our demonstration. And again, I'm on a stable tripod that does not move, and I'm shooting with a 50mm prime lens. This is what it looks like. Generally complete darkness, so you're not going to really see much on here. And I'm going to format my camera right now, and there are no images on my camera, and we're going to start off with the first diffuser. Our first diffuser is this little square type diffuser, and it kind of just goes on like that. It's very lightweight, it's versatile, it's pretty useful, but we'll put it to the test, and we'll see how well it works. We're using the same settings again: 1/60th second, f2.8, ISO 100, auto white balance, manual, ETTL, and see how it looks. Oops, flash was off. Do that one more time. Okay, good. And this is what the photo came out looking like. And you can see the shadows on the side of the face, under the nose. So we'll go move on to the next ceiling bounce diffuser. Next ceiling bounce diffuser is this dome type thing, and the whole idea is to send light through here and then shoot light out there. And it's actually pretty interesting design. So we'll see how well this thing works. Plug it on a tripod. We're using the same settings again, and that's how it looks. That's what it looks like. It's very similar to the type of lighting that we got with the little box diffuser. The shadow in the background is slightly softer, but we also see more highlights on the subject's face, and also more shadows underneath the nose, mouth, and chin, and eyes and nose. So we'll move on to the next item. And again, we used the same settings. 160 per second, f2.8, ISO 100 manual. Move on to the next one, and we have this foldable kind of ceiling bounce diffuser, and plug it into the flash like so. So the whole idea is that light's going to hit the sides around here and send light back. The rest is going to go into the ceiling. Okay, so take a shot. See how that looks. And this diffuser actually creates some of the harshest lights I've seen. 160 per second, f2.8, ISO 100 manual, 1 and 1/3 auto white balance, and we'll zoom in on the image, and that's what it looks like compared to other flash diffusers. It offers more of a direct flash. I don't really see much light coming from the ceiling, to be honest. Kind of just looks like a direct flash. Not enough light is actually being directed to the ceiling, so we get more of a direct flash than really a ceiling bounce diffuser here. And we'll move on to our next product. This one's interesting looking. It's a kind of like bounce card with a little plastic thing in front to diffuse the light, and we'll see how well it works. Plug it in. Take a shot. Okay. And this is what we got. We're shooting at 160 per second, f2.8, ISO 100, manual auto white balance. Zoom back in the image, and you'll see that there are still shadows on the face, and we have slightly softer shadows in the background. That means there's more light going into the ceiling than the previous one. This one has a bit harsher shadows because it's more of a direct light, not enough light's actually entering the ceiling. We'll move on to our next one. And this one is very popular. It's the one that kind of looks like a cup. And we'll shoot with the lid off for now, and then we'll do another shot with the lid on. See how well it works. Again, we're using the same settings. And this is what it looks like. 160 per second, f2.8, ISO 100, manual. We see a lot of shadows on the subject's face. Not so much in the background because it's more of a ceiling bounce than it is direct light. So it's sending too much light into the ceiling, not enough light from the dome itself. So we'll do it again with the lid on, and we'll see how well it works. And hold on, technical difficulty. Thanks. And do that again. Okay. And with the lid on, it looks kind of like this. 160 per second, f2.8, ISO 100, manual. And when we look at the image, we see that there's more light coming from the dome itself, less light entering the ceiling, so that the subject's face is more filled, light's more filled. And now we're going to move on to the wing light and see how well the wing light compares with everyone else. Just put it on like this. I want to send more light into the ceiling. So again, the wing light is adjustable just by moving the strap back and forth. You can send more light into the ceiling or less light into the ceiling and more into the wing. And that's how you adjust light output for low and high ceilings. Plug it in and let's take a shot and see how well that looks. Okay. And again, we're using the same settings: 1/62, f2.8, ISO 100, manual ETTL. When we zoom in on the image, what do we see? Compared to the other one, the shadow on the side of the face is actually gone. The shadow underneath the nose is actually gone. The shadow underneath smile lines and the eyes are gone. And we'll compare it with the other images. Again, in all these images, you'll see the shadow underneath the face, underneath the chin. It's a problem that happens in all photos with other diffusers, but it doesn't happen with the wing light. And the reason why is because the wing light is the only ceiling bounce diffuser that actually sends light from underneath the lens instead of on top of the lens to eliminate shadows on the subject's face. And that's it for wing light versus ceiling bounces. And next time we're going to be doing wing light versus soft boxes and umbrellas. After the video, we're going to do comparisons with images side by side so you can examine the photos in a detail-oriented fashion.